Hello everybody, it is me, Super Epic Awesome Gaming Channel. So today I am going to be, reading SCP-096. So, okay, let's read. Okay, SCP-096, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-096 is to be contained in its cell, a 5 meter by 5 meter by 5 meter airtight steel cube at all times. Weekly checks for any cracks or holes are mandatory. There are to be absolutely no video surveillance or optical tools of any kind inside SCP-096's containment cell. Security personnel will use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure SCP-096's presence inside the cell. Any and all photos, video, or recordings of SCP-096's likeliness are strictly forbidden without approval from Dr. Data Redacted and O5-Data Redacted. Description: SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. Subject shows very little muscle mass, with primarily analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. I cannot say it. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, with no sign of any body hair. SCP-096's jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is not yet known whether SCP-096 is blind or not. It shows no signs of any higher brain functions and is not considered to be sapient. SCP-096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside its cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views SCP-096's face, whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 will cover its face with its hand and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the first viewing, SCP-096 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, who will, from this point on, be referred to as SCP-096-1. Documented speeds have varied from 35 kilometers an hour to data redacted kilometers per hour, and seems to depend on distance from SCP-096-1. At this point, no known material or method can impede SCP-096's progress. The actual position of SCP-096-1 does not seem to affect SCP-096's response. It seems to have an innate sense of SCP-096-1's location. Note, this reaction does not occur when viewing artistic depictions. See document SCP-096-1. Upon arriving at SCP-096-1's location, SCP-096 will proceed to kill and data expunge SCP-096-1. 100% of the cases have left no traces of SCP-096-1. SCP-096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. It will attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat, data redacted. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including the breach of Foundation secrecy and a large civilian loss of life, retrieval of subject should be considered alpha priority. Dr. Data Redacted has also petitioned for immediate termination of SCP-096. See interviewed 096-1. Termination has been approved and is to be carried out by Dr. Data Redacted on Data Redacted. See Incident 096-1-A. Audio log from interviewers 096-1. Interviewer Dr. Data Redacted. Interviewed Captain Data Redacted. Former Commander retrieval team Zulu 9 Alpha A. A retrieval incident. Hashtag 096-1-A. Begin log. Time. Data redacted. Research area. Data redacted. Cap. It always sucks to get in. It always sucks. Beep. To get eternal retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of besides the jacked up information the field techies can scrape up. And you're lucky if they even tell you the whole story. They told us to bag and tag, then tell us to jack beep about not looking at the damn thing. Dr. Data Redacted. Could you describe the mission, please? Captain Data Redacted. Yeah, sorry. We had 2 choppers. One with my team, one with backup with Zulu 9-B and Dr. Data Redacted. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction. Else he would have taken us out then and there. Your report says SCP-096 did not react to the cold. It was minus Data Redacted degrees Celsius. Kept. Data Redacted. Actually, it was dash Data Redacted. And yes, it was butt naked and didn't so much as shiver. Anyways, we landed and approached the target, and Corporal Data Redacted and got ready to bag it. That's when Dr. Data Redacted called. I turned to answer, and that's what saved me. The target must have turned, and my whole squad saw it. Dr. Data Redacted. That's when SCP-096 entered an agitated, emotional state. Captain Data Redacted. Yep. Interviewed. Now pause for a second before continuing. Sorry, got the willies for a second. Dr. Data Redacted. That's all right. Data Redacted. Yeah, I never saw its face. My squad did, and they paid for it up the beep. Dr. Data Redacted. Could you describe it a little more, please? Captain Data Redacted pauses. Yeah. It started screaming at us and crying. Not animal roaring, though. Sounded exactly like a person. Really beeping creepy. Pauses again. We started firing at it when it picked up Corporal Data Redacted and ripped off his leg. God, he was screaming for help. Beeping. Anyway, we were blowing chunks out of the target. Round after round. Didn't do jack. Beep. I almost lost it when it started data expunging him. Dr. Data Redacted. That's when you ordered the use of papers. I heard moving. AT-4 HETD DT launcher. An anti-tank gun. Started carrying it ever since SCP Data Redacted got loose. I've seen those things tear through tanks like tissue paper. Did the same to the target. There was significant damage to SCP-096. It didn't even beeping flinch. It kept tearing my squad apart. It was just tearing apart my squad. But with half his torso gone. He draws a large half circle around his torso. Dr. Data Redacted. But was it taking damage? Captain Data Redacted. If it wasn't showing it. It must have lost all of its organs, all its blood. But it didn't acknowledge all of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all. It kept tearing my squad apart. Dr. Data Redacted. So no actual structural damage. How many rounds would you say were fired at SCP-096? Kept. Data Redacted. At the least 1,000. Our door gunner kept his GAU-19 on it for at least 20 seconds. 20 beeping seconds. That's 600.50 caliber rounds pumped in the thing. Might as well been spitting on it. Dr. Data Redacted. This is when Zulu-9B arrived. Capped Data Redacted. Yeah, and my squad was gone. Zulu-9B managed to get the bag over its head, and it just sat down. We got it into the chopper and got it here. I don't know how I never saw its face. Maybe God or Buddha or whoever I thought I should live. The Jack Beep. Dr. Data Redacted. We have obtained an artist depiction of SCP-096's face. Would you like to view it? Capped. Data Redacted. Pauses. You know, after hearing that thing screams and the screams of my men, I don't think I want to put a face to what I heard. No. Just no. All right, I believe we are done here. Thank you, Captain. Dr. Do. Cheers are heard moving, and footsteps leave the room. Captain Rat Data Redacted is confirmed to have left interview room 22. Dr. Data Redacted. Let this be on record that I am formally requesting SCP-096's SCP-096 be terminated as soon as possible. End log. Okay, so there's there's 2 more documents. I'm gonna read them. Document. Hashtag is 096-1. Document. Hashtag 096-1 of experiment SCP-096-1. Experiment SCP-096-1 is headed by Dr. Dan. Purpose to test SCP-096's abilities while obtaining complete physical description of SCP-096. D-9031 is a 32-year-old convicted felon for former tattoo artist. D-9031 is placed inside bathysphere 303-A, which is lowered in the Tonga Trench off the coast from New Zealand. Hey, that's where my dad's from. Position is approximately Data Redacted kilometers from SCP-096's temporary containment cell at site. Data Redacted. The following was recorded via surveillance inside bathysphere 303-A between it and Dr. Dan's control site on the New Zealand mainland. Bathysphere 303-A reaches the final depth of 10,800 meters. Bye. D-9031. It stopped. What now? Dr. Dan. Do you feel fine? No sickness or no sickness? Anything? D-9031. My chest hurt. My ears hurt. Dr. Dan. That should be expected. Now on your left, there should be a steel container. Open it, and there will be a manual folder holding several photographs. Open it and describe the first photograph. Please, excuse me. D-9031 complies. The camera is located so the photograph cannot be seen. D-9031. Nothing. It's an empty cell. Dr. Dan. Thank you. Please set this photograph face down in the receptacle to your right and look at the next photograph. D-9031. It's the same cell, but there's a foot in it, I think. Dr. Dan. Describe it, please. D-9031. It's pale and bony. Sort of creepy, actually. Dr. Dan. Place the photograph in the receptacle face down and look at the next one. D-9031. Okay. Pauses. Oh, beep. Dr. Dan. Describe the photograph. D-9031. It's I don't know, some creepy beep person. Dr. Dan. Describe the photograph, please. Dr. D-9031. Hell, man. He's pale and has white eyes, and something beeped up is happening with his mouth. What the hell is this thing? At approximately 13:32 standard time, Dr. Dan and experiment control is notified that SCP-096 has breached containment. The fastest path SCP-096-1 has been cleared of civilians and other image capturing devices. And SCP-096 is now being tracked by satellites via tracking collar. Dr. Dan. On your right, there should be another steel container. Open it. SCP-096-1. It's a pad of paper and a pencil. Dr. Dan. Yes, please draw a sketch of the photograph you saw. SCP-096-1 mumbles an explosive and spends the next 20 minutes drawing a sketch of the photograph. At the time of completion, SCP-096 is confirmed to be data redacted kilometers away from SCP-096-1. SCP-096-1. I'm done. Dr. Dan. Good. Place the drawing in the receptacle to your left and close the door. SCP-096-1 complies, and the sketch leaves Bathysphere 303-A and in a watertight, bouncy container. The other photographs have been integrated in the onboard incinerator. Please stand by. SCP-096-1. What now? Dr. Dan. Please stand by. 40 minutes pass. SCP-096 is now confirmed to be at SCP-096-1's position and is diving. Transported signal ends at 9,339 meters as the pressure beyond device's operable limits. The camera shows the bathysphere shaking slightly from SCP-096-1's reaction. It is assumed that SCP-096 is on the hull and is visible through the viewport. SCP-096-1. Oh, beep, 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 beep. What the beep is that? Video and audio feed is cut as the hull of Bathysphere 303-A is breached and SCP-096 is recovered by the surface. Recovery Team Foxtrot-303-A without incident. Sketch of SCP-096 is recovered, and a quick test confirms no hostile reaction from SCP-096. Sketch is sent to experiment control on New Zealand, while SCP-096 is moved to permanent containment. There's another one. I don't see it. Oh yeah. Is it? Oh yeah, this is it. It's a long one, but I'm gonna read it. Whew. So, containment has been attended? Yes, Doctor. Let me see the security footage. Begin log. A large steel cube is shown in the middle of a research lab, which is teeming with a dozen or so researchers. In view of the camera is a control booth, displaying readings from the variation sensors inside the cube. Fast forward 1 minute and 32 seconds. Control booth operator leans forward, alerted to the various readings on the sensors. Approximately 5 seconds later, a steel wall on the containment cube receives a sizable dent bending outwards. The dent becomes larger before breaking. SCP-096 is seen bending the steel away, frantically trying to escape. Emergency plates drop on the cube as a containment breach is sounded. The security tape has SCP-096's face blurred out as per containment protocol. Two security teams enter the room as SCP-096 breaks out of containment. Live rounds of tranquilizer darts are fired to no visible effect. Approximately 90% of researchers and security personnel have directly viewed SCP-096's face, and a clodolema is declared. The room and surrounding areas are sealed and flush with data redacted class nerve agent. Approximately 2 minutes later, SCP-096 breaches research site, data redacted, and travels data redacted kilometers per hour. End log. Echo Romeo was assigned to immediate containment breach. When we realized how big of a breach we were dealing with, we were completely overwhelmed. Funny how even the biggest and brightest minds in the world can be so unprepared. So, are you saying it's your own fault? Absolutely not. This was a new discovery in SCP-096's behavior. We had no way to know, and we're lucky it did not turn into an XK. Begin log. Helm cam footage from ER-1. Footage inside a UH-60 shows SCP-096 on the desert floor, moving at a considerable speed. ER-A. This is Echo Romeo Alpha Actual. We have visual on the target, unintendible, at data expunged, knots increasing. ER-A listens to the radio and as orders. Identify coming from Dr. Dan Arlade. SCP-096 can be seen slowly gaining speed. ER-A motions off camera. ER-3 appears to be holding a modified XM500 anti-material rifle. 2 shots are fired. The first misses and the second hits SCP-096 in the lower leg. SCP-096 stumbles but recovers. Speed changes insignificant. ER-A, unintelligible. Repeat, no effect on target. ER-A motions to ER-3 again. ER-3 fires 3 more shots. The first 2 miss, and the third one hits SCP-096 in the head. SCP-096 falls, skids, and rolls several times, reducing its speed minimally. SCP-096 rolls to its feet and continue unabated. Camera pans up to see 8 V-22 Ospreys belonging to MTF TAU-1 flying overhead past helicopters on the same outbound vector as SCP-096-1. Camera cuts out. Begin log. Video interview. Log 096-1-A. Dr. Alexei appears very calm, determined, and answers all questions slowly and deliberately. Interviewer. So where were you exactly at the time of the breach? Dr. Alexei. On break, getting a cup of coffee. It was pure luck I wasn't caught in the containment area. Interviewer. Describe your actions directly after the containment breach. Dr. Alexei. I sent Echo Romeo after SCP-096 and alerted Dr. Dan to the situation. We then set upon the task of locating SCP-096-1. The general direction of SCP-096 was determined. I sent Mobile Task Force TAU-1 ahead to evacuate the civilian population centers in SCP-096's path, according to containment protocol. Begin log. Video interview. Log 096-1-B. Dr. Dan, they redacted, sits patiently on the table in front of him in is what looks to be a set of modified night vision goggles. Interviewer. For the record, what exactly were you doing? Where were you during SCP-096's containment breach? Dr. Dan. In the Data Expunge mountain range, trying to find more information on SCP-096's origins. It was a quick research expedition, so I left Dr. Alexei in charge of containment. He was competent enough, if a bit eager, and has provided himself in the past. This is concerned by the various related paperwork, so don't go thinking. Interviewer. It was interview. Video, why not? It was just for the record, Doctor. Now knowing that SCP-096 is immune to all forms of damage, what in an enraged state, why would you order this sniper attack from emergency response team? Dr. Dan, why not? If there was a chance to slow SCP-096 down and give MTF-TAU-1 more time, then we had to try it. It put ER in danger, and the choppers were in danger of being outrun anyway. Honestly, ER could do little else to help or harm the situation. I see. Now can you explain this? Interviewer motions to the goggles laying on the table. Yes, Dr. Dan, yes. This is Project Scramble, an eyepiece we assigned for ER and MTF TIAU-1, designed by Dr. Alexei and myself. Specifically designed for SCP-096. It carries a small microcomputer which consistently analyzes the viewing field for the facial features of SCP-096. Facial recognition software inside instantly identifies them, scrambling the image to an unrecognizable mess before the light reaches the human eye. It's quite ingenious, really, and expensive. Dr. Dan, interviewer. Very, which is why it's a shame it didn't work. End log, begin log. Audio transcript between MTF-TAU1-1 and modified EG-3 Sentry AWACS. Call sign Big Brother. MTF-T-1. Ospreys in the air moving. Data expunged at data sponge. Awaiting vector. Big Brother. Electronics all online. Cruising altitude reached. Uploading program scramble to all camera systems. Big Brother online. Big Brother is now watching. MTF-T-1. What outbound vector is currently target currently heading? Big Brother. No, target is currently westbound, traveling on beat. Yeah, he's on the I-40. I think he just flipped a semi. Outbound vector is data expunged, decreases by data expunged. Next town on this vector is data expunged. I say a couple 100 kilometers. Beep. MTF, we're suggesting Echo Romeo begin evacuating the I-40. I don't know how many cars the target has wrecked. MTF-T-1. Hold on. That's a negative. Big Brother ER is responding. That target is outrunning the choppers. They can't get ahead of him. Big Brother, then get them to stop the motorists on the other lane. I don't know how many people have seen this thing's face and log. First 3 elements of TAU-1 succeeded in gathering the townsfolk. In the 3 towns without incident, SCP-096 was confirmed to not be in any of these. SCP-1. SCP-096 ran through each intern without stopping. However, a video log in MTF-TAU shows SCP-096 being identified in the town of data expunged and ensuring incident. Show it. Begin log. Home cam footage from element 4 of MTF-TAU-1 in the town of data expunged. Most of the townspeople are gathered in the square, blindfolded. Helicopters sweep the town. Indistinct orders are heard over loudspeakers from both helicopters and ground personnel. MTF-T1 over TAU comm radio and loudspeaker. The target is entering proximity zone. All units activate scramble gear and begin crowd control procedures. All civilians are not to move from their spot or remove their blindfolds. If you touch your blindfold, you will be shot. I repeat, all civilians are. Orders are drowned out by a large shriek coming from the outside camera view. Approximately 2 kilometers away, SCP-096 is seen to be coming over by the crest of the hills. It tries to slow down, but the descent trips and tumbles down at high speed, crashing through several houses before regaining its footing and almost without the delay. Unknown voice over loudspeaker. Unintelligible. Civilians are not to move. You will be shot. I heard. Unintelligible. Several shots are heard, none of which are directed at SCP-096. SCP-096 stops for 1 second before running into the crowd of townsfolk, throwing many aside and trampling more. More shots are heard as the crowd begins disappearing. Oh, the loudspeakers are unintelligible. The camera views SCP-096 grabbing him before it is hit by a fleeing townsperson and is dislocated from the helmet. End log. Begin log. Video interview log 096-1-C. Major Jack Wilford, currently commander of MTFTAU-1. While I was looking through SCP-096-1's house with my squad. Poor Beep was a semi-pro mountaineer. Took a trip to the data redacted. Apparently, took a snapshot of the landscape and just happened to catch SCP-096 in the background. Wilford holds up 4 fingers for emphasis. Wilford, 4 pixels. 4 beeping pixels. I doubt the guy even knew what he saw. He was probably just looking at the picture one day, and he noticed an off-colored patch of snow, and he went on with his day. Interviewer, did you find it? Wilford, our scramble gear picked it up right away. The lieutenant got the picture and took it down to the chopper before I even got to see it. The damn monster had taken down Big Brother, and it peeled open the former major striker. All hell was breaking loose. How did you find it? Our scramble gear. So the scramble gear was ineffective. Wilford, ineffective. The god beep scramble gear were pieces of beep that killed the whole damn task force. You know, only 3 people are alive besides me, all because some beep egghead thought of a state-of-the-art countermeasure to SCP-096's hostile reaction. Those bloody idiots just could have put a bag over the target's head and be done with it, but no, we had to use state of the beeping art scramble. End log. Begin log. Dr. Dan, what did that beeper call me? Dr. Dan pushes back from the table and begins standing up. Dr. Dan, I'll show that god beep, son of a beep, what an egghead is after I bash open his. Interviewee begins shouting and cursing. 2 guards enter the room and push Dr. Dan back into his seat. Interviewer, do we need an administrator? A sedative? Doctor? Dr. Dan takes a breath and smooths out his coat. Dr. Dan, no, I apologize. Sighs. Scramble was really an ingenious idea. However, it was a failure because we did not know how SCP-096 worked. You see, as the chip inside Scramble picked up SCP-096's facial features and began scrambling them, there was a split second of uninterrupted light flow into the retina. Computers are fast, but not as fast as light. So there was a split second image of SCP-096's direct face that sent it to the brain. It wasn't even consciously received, but apparently it was enough to trigger the hostile reaction in SCP-096. So, with the report of this photograph, Dr. Dan, the most disturbing part of the whole incident, you know when the former SCP-096-1 went on his mountain trip, 1990 beep, 1990 redacted. That's data redacted years of that photo hanging there before he saw SCP-096's face. Since the brain doesn't need to be aware that it's viewing SCP-096's face to trigger the reaction, there can be ticking time bombs literally anywhere in the world. How many photographs are out there containing SCP-096? Just going unnoticed, waiting for a careful eye. As I said before, I want this thing terminated now. Terminate now. End log. Just a quick question, Doctor. What exactly were you planning on doing there? Major Jack Wilford was top-notch SBS when we recruited him. I was on a recon corpse man, sir, and was deployed in the causes of Marines BSBS. No, they don't. No, both of you. Moving on. Begin log. Video interview log 096-D. Chief Master Sergeant. Dara Gunner with Echo Romeo. I got the bag over its head. Interviewer. Yes, you told me that. Could you tell me exactly what transpired? Redacted. It was done with its. Well, it was sitting there in the highway. Why? Just got done ripping open a minivan. Interviewee is silent. Interviewer and he redacted. Wes was landed the chopper. I got out and I bagged it. I put the bag over its head. It got calm and they took it. So the victims in the minivan were the last to view SCP-096's face. Interviewee is silent. Interviewer. Data redacted. Interviewee remains silent for the remainder of the interview. He was released. He was later found in his bunk room, having committed suicide via hanging with a makeshift rope. A half-crushed pacifier was found in his fist. End log. Begin log. 096-D. Confiscated lands tape from news broadcasts CNN. The image shows the first responders surrounding the remain of a crashed plane over the shoulder of a field reporter. The plane, which it seems to be military in origin, has outward markings designated it as a part of the U.S. military. While first responders look for a black box recording, it is thought by police that the plane crashed to a massive cabin breach in both the cockpit and fuselage. The reporter motions to a large hole in the side of the plane, with several firefighters are seen climbing inside. Paramedics have only found 3 bodies, which is odd for a plane requiring a crew of around 20 men. Police have suggested the reporter is cut off as 3 Battalions are shown hovering overhead, 2 of which land and begin unloading troops to MTF Epsilon. MTF-E-1. Shut off the camera. Shut off the mother beeping. End log. Begin log. Dr. Alexi. So are we finished here? Interviewer. One last question, doctor. Or statement, as it seems. We find it interesting that there was no break room at research site data redacted. Or coffee. Interviewee remains silent. Interviewer. We think it would be best if you begin talking. Remainder of video interview log 096-1-A redacted. End log. I don't see what that has to do with me. There's no reason to play dumb, doctor. He's told us everything. Well, then I guess there's no fudging anything, is there? Audio recording. 05 hearing. 05-1. Upon reviewing your testimony and available footage and confidence of your late Dr. Alexi, you have unanimous agreement of the 05. You are to be terminated for your part of the gross breach of SCP-096. Dr. Dan. And I thought you would know the meaning of for the greater good. 05-1. Do not try my patience, doctor. Given the incident scope and potential, the 05 have approved your request for the termination of SCP-096. Given the lack of personnel with understanding of SCP-096, the termination will be entrusted to you under heavy guard and the personnel supervision of me. You'll be terminated. Your termination will be scheduled at a later date. End log. That is horrible, doctor. How could you knowingly? It worked. There was only a matter of time until that happened in a major population center, and its face spread over the world news. I can kill SCP-096, but I killed myself in the process.